from the New York Post. Mind the tornado above us, friends.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Pay no attention.
This is from the New York Post. ESPN star Jason Whitlock blasts Disney for feminizing sports. Yes, and I think this will play a role in the upcoming elections, in that you've got what's happening with the NCAA swimming with Leah Thomas. And I know I've been critical of people who refuse to speak up, saying if you're not speaking up publicly, how can I defend you? Because people will just say, nobody's mad about this. What are you complaining about if you can't stand up for yourself? But I will say, at the very least, these people will be secret Trump voters. Like we saw in 2016 and 2020, a large percentage of people who would not admit it, but once they get into the polling booth, they look around, look over their shoulders, and then hit Trump a million times.
The history
of
of
things like this.
Voting, it's secret for a reason, because that's a natural part of people's minds. When they see crap out there, they don't want to have to stand up and say it, but they're going to vote the way they feel. See the lights flicker there?
Ooh.
We in the rain now.
Wait. How did the lights flicker? We're on independent electricity.
I don't know.
Magnetic fields.
Well, so Jason, let's talk about this. Your take on the feminization of sports.
Well, I think a lot of people, it kind of went over their heads in 1996 when Disney acquired ABC and ESPN, and that once you're taken over by Disney, Disney's going to promote its values. There's no greater cultural force than perhaps Disney across the entire globe. And so I think Disney came in with an agenda. I think in 1994, Disney tried to acquire NBC, couldn't. NBC at that time had the NBA broadcast. Disney has wanted to get in the sports lane. They got into the sports lane with ESPN because they understand, anybody in the entertainment industry understands that live sports is the most valuable asset for attracting a massive audience and being able to preach your values to a massive audience. Particularly in this now DVR, watch stuff when you want to era that we're in, live sports is the only thing where people sit down and watch it as it happens live. And so they wanted ESPN, they wanted in the sports world, and they wanted to apply their values, their culture to the sports world, and that's what has happened. And I think Disney, based on their attack on young kids and the sexuality and the gender thing, Disney believes in the matriarchy. Disney believes in the uprooting of the patriarchy. Disney is very feminist, and they've applied all those values to ESPN, which is the worldwide leader in sports. And that's why if you just look at sports over the last 25, 30 years since Disney has owned ESPN, sports have just become softer and more feminized.
I spoke about this in 2018 when we were seeing culture, video games, movies, seeing all the woke influx. I said it's going to be real crazy when the NFL, the NBA, and Major League Sports start being forced to adopt these things. And we're starting to see it. We spoke with Jonathan Isaac. That dude's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he was talking about how he didn't want to kneel for Black Lives Matter. People got mad at him about it. So we had a meeting. We said, we're going to do this. And he was like, I don't believe in it, though. The crazy thing is, here's a guy. You got Colin Kaepernick who kneels. He gets ragged on for it. Well, he brought politics into the game. I understand why people might be mad about that. Well, the politics there starts spreading to everyone kneeling. And now you got a guy, Jonathan Isaac, being like, I just don't want to kneel. I don't mind if you do. And they're mad at him because he won't bend the knee. You see, I think...
And just keep in mind, everybody on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, is criticizing Jonathan Isaac. And Lord behold, take Drew Brees, the quarterback for the Saints, makes this comment basically defending the national anthem. And he gets assassinated, his character does, by everybody on ESPN like he's some racist pig, because the national anthem means something to him, means something to people in his family that were in the service. And so these athletes are being bullied into kneeling and adopting these values.
We're actually this Sunday we got a special episode. We did a podcast with Ben and Ben Shapiro and Jonathan Isaac separately, but he was saying that he doesn't think these people believe in the message, that the players are just kind of they're told they have to do it and they're like, okay, whatever, I guess. And many of them probably outright just don't like these values. I think the reality is a lot of people are Christians. I think a lot of people like families. What worries me is why aren't there more people like, Isaac, who are going to just very calmly and passionately say, look, I believe in my country. No disrespect to those who protest. I'm going to do my thing. Why can't we at least have more players like that?
I imagine